Hello, and welcome to the inaugural episode here on the CrossBeat channel. I'm your host Jackson, and today we are reviewing Ed O'Brien's debut album, Earth. Ed O'Brien has been a guitarist for the band Radiohead since its inception in 1985, and Earth marks his first time branching off to doing his own musical project. This album first started taking shape during his year-long residency in Brazil in 2012. Now that we've talked a little bit about the backstory of the album, let's get right into the review. The album starts out with one of the singles, Shangri-La, which was released prior to the album. On this cut, a diverse barrage of guitar textures flood the stereo field. The sounds range from crisp and clear to aggressive to downright spacey. O'Brien also uses Latin rhythms to spice up the track. However, the song reaches a certain energy level and plateaus. Although the production is immaculate, this song could have been a minute shorter. This is followed up by the centerpiece of the album, Brazil. As the name suggests, it takes inspiration from his environment, with its acoustic guitars that weave around the listener like vines. Brazil's other notable feature is a sudden left turn about midway through, where it trades its soft ballad beat for a four-on-the-floor dance rhythm and works seamlessly. However, Brazil suffers from lyrical cliches like, quote, feeling alive again, end quote, and quote, I'm on my knees, darling, can't you see, end quote. The next song, Deep Days, tries to fit in a lot of influences with the backing choir and Latin percussion that is so prominent on this album, but the lyrics in the song appear to lack emotional depth. O'Brien describes a dance where he assures his partner that he will catch them. Despite this issue, Deep Days wins me over with its catchiness, flavor, and Ed's solid voice. Along with a lot of this album, it plateaus about halfway through and doesn't change its trajectory. The next three songs, Long Time Coming, Mass, and Sail On, sound so similar that they could be interchangeable. It seems like Ed is trying to channel his past Radiohead hits, but is unable to find the emotional depth necessary to make them memorable. The atmosphere on these tracks stands out probably because of O'Brien's experience with Radiohead, and the production is fantastic. The drums are crisp and clear, and the guitars sound vast. Unfortunately, Sail On and Mass are so repetitive, which compounds issues like the very strange structuring choices. For example, in Long Time Coming, where we revisit the first verse again at the end for some reason. These songs blend into each other because they have close to the same palette of sounds and similar tempo in a very repetitive writing style, which is especially irksome since the lyrics themselves aren't interesting enough to be worth repetition. On Sail On, O'Brien uses a soundscape that wouldn't feel out of place on a moonshade pool, but instead of Tom York's heartbroken lyrics, we get generic nature and maritime imagery. The song Banksters has a blend of percussion-like drum machines and natural Latin sounds. Theoretically, this would be an interesting combination, but the application in the song causes an unnatural balance and sounds very out of place. Although this song calls back to past styles of Radiohead, it has some questionable lyric choices, most particularly, quote, where did all the money go, end quote, and the inexplicable set of F-bombs that can be heard on this track. The former could have been a reference to Brazil's recent economic collapse and government corruption, but the delivery is so goofy and forced that it's hard to take seriously. Additionally, the similarities with Paranoid Android are hard to ignore. I actually like the last song on the album. I'm not counting Cloak of the Night because it does not fit with the rest of the album, with its different sound palette that doesn't fit with any other songs. Olympic actually made me want to dance and bob my head, earning it a spot on one of my playlists. The synth leads are eerie, the drums are driving, and the guitars are bright and echoed into oblivion. One issue I have with the song is that it did not need to go 8.5 minutes. All in all, I respect the hell out of Ed O'Brien for coming out and making this album and trying to find his voice. It was a step out of his comfort zone, with the group setting of Radiohead, and the creative forces of Tom York and Johnny Greenwood. Ed O'Brien's role of filling in the sonic gaps are on full display in this album. I think he tries to channel his inner Tom York vocally on tracks like Sail On, Mass, and Long Time Coming, but because of the lack of emotion either in his voice or the lyrics, these efforts fall flat. While the production is immaculate, it is not enough to save this album from being forgettable. I rate this album 5 out of 10. Thank you guys so much for watching this. Feel free to leave a comment down below for what you think this album should be rated and your thoughts on this album. Please leave also comments of other songs or albums that you want me to review. Don't forget to subscribe and hit that like button. See you guys. Bye.